Gotta get it on video.
Oh, okay.
This is Reviewer TV, and I'm here with Mike Stax from Ugly Things, and we're at the tribute to Kim Fowley night. Can we walk over here away from the speakers where the sound is better? Can we walk over here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I told you I met Kim Fowley on the phone, and apparently the guy was like more than big. He was like huge, and he was a giant. I mean, he basically was a icon in the rock and roll scene. And the only reason why I knew who he was because he mentioned his article that you did on him in Ugly Things.
Right.
And he loved that. He was like, he ate that up. He cold called me because he found my number in Reviewer magazine in the copy of Reviewer.
Yeah.
Somehow I distributed in Pasadena, wherever he was living at the time, up in northeast LA. And he cold called me, apparently wanting, I don't know, some connection, maybe publicity or something. It was weird what he wanted. I think he wanted me to pay tribute to him. But I wasn't really that into it because he sounded really pushy, and I get a lot of people wanting publicity.
Yeah.
You know?
Kim was always hustling, you know. He would contact people, sort of feel them out and see if they could do anything for him or if he could do anything for them. And he was just sort of constantly networking, constantly hustling. And if he didn't think there was anything that was in it for him, then he would move on. If not, you know, he'd work you. But he would always reciprocate. You know, he gave me so much wisdom. He shared a lot of information with me. He gave me a lot of advice.
Did he? What kind?
Just how to deal with people in the music business, what direction to take music in, what the happening spots were in the world, what the happening musicians were that were coming up. Anything really to do with the music industry, but especially to do with how deals were structured and what to avoid, the pitfalls of that.
What did he tell you to avoid?
Well, it was more sort of a matter of crunching numbers on percentages on publishing and things like that. He would give you advice as what not to do, what would be a good number, what would be a good percentage on something, or where to place your song, how to make your song make money.
So from a musician standpoint, he would tell you how to strike a deal.
Yeah, he would do that, and he would tell you just ways that you could make money with your music. Even though that's not really my motivation, so some of it was in one ear and out the other.
But was it timely? I mean, this was before Spotify. This was when I saw that article. Your article was written like maybe right after 9/11. It was like in the early 2000s.
I think it came out in 2000. Yeah, right before 9/11.
Right before 9/11. Okay. So were you, when you were listening to his spiel? Was it timely? Was it?
Always was, and I spoke to him.
Or was it something from the previous era?
No, he was always moving with the times, and I knew him for 15 years, and I would speak on the phone with him sometimes every week, but at least once a month. And he was always watching the changing trends, watching the changing currents, and he was more on top of things than I was, you know. So,
he was a cool guy. He did some distribution for me. He took a stack of reviewers out to a couple of studios and places out in wherever he lived. I forget where he lived. He lived out in Monterey Park or something, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He moved around. He was in Inland Empire for a while, and then he was back in Hollywood.
But after a while, you're right, he got kind of tired of it. You know, we broke up our relationship, but you know, it was interesting to know that one icon from the music scene who got, you know, the Runaways going and so many bands that like.
He was brilliant. He was there from the late 50s all the way through to the end, and he had stories about everybody, and he was the best storyteller.
What was your first recollection of Kim Fowley? Was it Coming to Take Me Away on Dr. Demento or what? You're from England, so maybe you see that.
I think it was.
Where are you from, Mike?
I'm originally from England. Yeah.
So where in England?
Well, I lived in Yorkshire.
Okay.
But
was he big? Was he known over there?
He was just sort of a name that you would see on records. You'd see him on a Seeds record, or you'd see him. You knew he had something to do with Alley-Oo.
How did you get hip to him? How did you become interested in such a big, good long article?
Well, I knew I had tons of records that had his name on it, and then he started calling me up, and we kind of struck up a relationship, and he liked what he heard from me, he liked the magazine, and he wanted to unload these stories. He thought it was time to tell a story, so he said, what do you want to talk about? Let's set a time period, and we set like late 1963 till 1969. And we spent, 6 weeks talking on the phone almost every day.
That's awesome.
And
you're a good journalist.
Well, thank you. I mean, with someone like Kim Fowley, it was just a matter of having your questions prepared and then letting the tape recorder run.
Being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, but you had to kind of know to steer him and keep, so he didn't have to over-explain himself. You could just let him tell the stories. So I knew enough about the 60s and his basic timeline to guide him through that, and then he would just fill in all the details.
Okay. What is the one big thing that you took away from knowing Kim Fowley that you will remember forever?
He used to say almost all the time when he would finish a conversation, he would say, be teenage, be rock and roll. And then the last time I saw him, which was just a month before he died, he was bedridden at that point, and the last words he said to me was, stay teenage, stay rock and roll. And that was a change from being teenage, be rock and roll, to stay rock and roll. He was kind of telling me he wasn't going to be there to say be rock and roll anymore. So it was kind of a farewell. Stay rock and roll. Right. So that stayed with me.
That's good. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. I guess I better get ready to go on.